listening to Learn Japanese Pod with me, Alex, and you're listening to the Fun Friday edition of the podcast. And the Fun Friday edition, if you didn't know, is when we temporarily put away our textbooks and talk to cool people doing cool things in Japan. And this week is no exception because I am joined by...
Ah-chan!
and...
Brother Ben.
Brother Ben. So, Ah-chan, genki?
Genki.
What's new?
Oh, now I'm in the Golden Week.
Yes. Golden Week. Woo! And so we just started Golden Week, which is a 1 week long holiday in Japan.
Yeah.
And I'm joined by my brother, Ben, my older brother. Hello, Ben.
Good evening.
And Ben is actually lives in Kyoto, but he's visiting me here in Tokyo for Golden Week. So thank you for coming up to Tokyo.
No problemo.
No problemo. Now, I wanted to do a podcast because it's been a long time since we put a podcast out. I just wanted to do a quick fun Friday with my wonderful friends, and it's Golden Week, so we had a bit of extra time to record a podcast. And so we are going to talk specifically about whatever floats into our brains. It's all good. Now, Ah-chan, you live in Tokyo, but where are you originally from?
I come from Kakegawa City, Shizuoka Prefecture.
Shizuoka Prefecture, Kakegawa City, Shizuoka Prefecture. And Shizuoka is famous for...
Is it a quiet place?
Shizuoka.
Silent Hill.
So Shizuoka actually means...
Oh, so it does mean... Okay, so we have to explain Shizuka means quiet.
Shizuka, yeah.
And
Shizuka.
how do you say shut up to someone?
Damare.
Well, okay, how do you say be quiet?
Shizuka.
Shizukane. Okay.
Shut up.
So Shizuka means quiet, and then Oka means hill. So Shizuoka means silent hill. Do you know why it's called Silent Hill?
Why is the hill so quiet?
なんで? 別に
I don't know.
わかんないね.
It's lost in the mists of time.
It's a very mysterious place. But Shizuoka is famous for...
Green tea. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I'm from
gonna
Kyoto,
blow.
and the area south of Kyoto, there's a small town called Uji, which is another famous center of green tea.
So there's Uji green tea, and there's also Shizuoka green tea.
Uji is a bit like Champagne or Dijon.
Dijon moutarde or champagne wine. Or is it wine? It's champagne. Champagne.
Or Melton Mowbray pork pies.
So love me a bit of pork pie. Some of the finest food from the United Kingdom. So, Ah-chan.
Hi.
Which do you prefer? Remember, a lot of people listening, you could make them very angry. Which do you prefer, Shizuoka tea or Uji tea from Kyoto?
Of course.
She's thinking very hard at the moment. She's thinking very hard.
Sayama-cha.
Sayama-cha?
What the devil is Sayama-cha?
That came out of left field.
Sayama-cha come from in Saitama Prefecture.
Oh, Saitama. Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Maybe
that.
this Shizuoka, Sayama-cha, and Uji tea is three maybe best green tea field.
I had no idea.
I
That's
never
Saitama.
Ready?
So Saitama is Sayama-cha.
Sayama City.
Get the Chichibu out of here.
Get the Chichibu out of here. So Sayama-cha, I'd never heard of that before. So I knew Uji. And of course I knew Shizuoka.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is a really difficult question, but what is the difference in taste between Uji tea, Shizuoka tea, and Sayama-cha?
I think relatively, Shizuoka tea is very plain taste.
Right.
Easy for people to drink. But I think Uji tea is specialty for the customer, I think.
Why is it special?
Yeah, what's special about it?
I think the taste is deep and flavorful. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so got deep taste. And is that because of the process, or are they using a slightly different species of plant?
I don't know, but actually it's a different. I think the temperature and climate is different between the
right.
Shizuoka and Kyoto a little bit. And the Sayama and the Shizuoka is similar, it's said. Yeah.
Where do they grow? I'm guessing they grow Sayamacha in the west part of
Saitama.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I think
Because
it's
the rest
nice.
is pretty built up, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But hang on. Sorry, going back to the taste. So ujicha?
Ujicha.
Is kind of known as this very kind of delicious tea.
Yeah.
Deep
and
taste.
Deep taste and very colorful, I
Very colourful,
think.
right.
Yeah.
And how does that compare with Shizuoka tea?
I think contains a lot of ingredients, catecholine and caffeine and some maybe vitamin.
Right.
A lot.
yeah, I think we should mention like green tea and appreciation of green tea is similar to wine.
You don't like it at
there's-
first, but you get
No,
used
no,
to
no.
it.
I mean, in that there's many kinds.
Oh, I see.
There's many
right.
regions.
Right.
There's different scales of bitterness and
Right.
thickness.
Wait, is there Ryokucha Kente?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
So Ryokucha Kente would be like like a
Are you asking about a green tea tasting?
no, like a certificate of like being a sommelier, but for green tea, right?
No doubt.
Yeah. I'm sure they've got one. So wait. So uji tea is this kind of like deep, flavorful taste.
I think so, yeah.
And then Shizuoka, how does that taste?
Yeah, very plain and easy to drink.
Although within those, there are there are many grades and categories.
Yeah.
Within that.
Yeah, uji tea is used for you know the very special ceremony, tea ceremony.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
sado.
Sado. Yeah,
Sado.
sado.
So sado is the tea ceremony.
Don't be sad.
I'm not sado. I'm happy.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
how about the taste of Sayama tea?
I don't know at all, but I think high productivity next to Shizuoka, I think.
Oh, so Shizuoka produces the most tea.
Yeah.
Then Sayama produces the
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
in terms of volume.
Yeah,
And then Uji is number 3, right?
I think so.
Got it,
The
right.
Sayama tea is so
生産量が
nice.
高い。
生産量が高い.
Yeah, 生産量が高いね。
So the volume of production,
Yeah,
right?
volume of
Oh,
production.
すごいね. You've been reading your grammar books recently.
Yeah.
You know. So now to hold on. But as Ben was saying, I'm kind of oversimplifying it because it's like wine. There's like a million different varieties and grades.
There's
and
a
tastes.
if you ever get the chance to go to Kyoto, there's a fantastic shop called Ippudo, and it's a traditional old green tea merchant shop, and you can do a green tea tasting, and you can ask to try different varieties of green tea there. So that's highly recommended. It's near Shiakushomai Eki. Shiakushomai Station. Yeah,
So
in Kyoto.
whereabouts is that in Kyoto? Shakushomai. Which bit of Kyoto is that?
Well, that's
Shijo.
on the Tozai line,
Oh right, yeah.
in kind of central north Kyoto.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so interesting. And actually, Achang, I have a confession to make. I met your mum, and she actually sent me green tea.
Yes.
And I didn't drink it yet. まだ飲んでない。
なんてこった。
なんてこった。
ごめんなさい。
ダメだね。そうだ。いや、まあ。これから飲もうかな。
This season in May, the green tea is most favorable season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is like the
new
the best
tea,
taste.
best taste. New tea we can pick up.
Right, right.
In May.
Can I just go back to the pronunciation of the tea shop I mentioned?
Yes, please.
The correct pronunciation is Ippudo.
Ippudo.
Not to be confused with
Ippudo is a ramen shop.
which is a famous
I was gonna
Kyushu,
say.
which is a famous Kyushu ramen shop. Please don't get your Ippudo, which is ramen, mixed up with your Ippodo, which is
So
tea.
Ippodo is for the tea, but Ippudo is for the ramen.
Yeah.
But I know you don't like Ippudo
That's
ramen.
right.
Which is your favorite ramen place? Pourquoi?
Pourquoi? What
Pourquoi?
does it mean?
Nande?
Yeah. I'm
Pourquoi?
ramen. What do you say?
Favorite ramen place? Tell us.
Sorry. Yeah, actually, so I maybe went to the many ramen shops in Japan,
Yes.
not only in Tokyo.
Right.
Maybe every 2 or 3 days in a week, I went to the ramen shop. Maybe a long time ago. So when I was
the chashu?
teenager, chashu, what? Yeah, but actually, ippudo is very, easy taste. Maybe for the people.
Yeah,
It's very everyone's
easy to like.
easy to like. Everyone like maybe ippudo ramen, but it's not very good. Actually,
so you think there's
it's
more
not the best.
sophisticated, more acquired kind of taste?
Right.
Which do you think is better?
Better for me. I just a very simple taste from the fish. I think seafood, fish.
It's like a fish-based ramen.
Fish-based ramen.
Okay.
Fish broth ramen I like, and
really?
also
They use fish bones for that.
yeah, niboshi. You know the dried up fry. The fish.
Yeah. So it's like dried
Has a
fish.
lot of flavor broth in the soup.
Bit like katsu.
Katsuo, like a katsuo, niboshi, yeah.
Can I say something really embarrassing? I've lived in Japan for many, many years. I didn't realize they had fish broth for ramen. I thought it was just tonkotsu. I
Yeah,
thought it was
tonkotsu is
just
very
pork.
famous. Yeah.
Hold your pork.
Hold your
We're in
pork.
it. Tori paiten.
Tori paitan. Yeah, paitan.
Tori paiten.
Yeah, the
Tori-
chicken
Tori
broth.
paitan.
Chicken based.
Yeah.
Thick, creamy chicken. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved it.
That
I
before
highly recommend
Yeah.
Tori paitan.
Yeah, I used to eat very much when I was university students. Yeah, that was very famous.
Tori paitan is really good.
Yeah, that
And
was very good.
ichikoroku?
Ichikoroku, yeah.
Yeah, ichikoroku is my favorite chicken broth based ramen. That is amazing. It's so good.
Where the chicken could you eat? Could you go to eat that?
I know there's one in Azabu Juban. There's one in Azabu
Tokyo.
Juban, which is like right around the corner from Roppongi. Roppongi.
I did a gypsy of ramen shops.
What's that? What's
Yeah,
that?
what gypsy means maybe go to the many kinds of ramen shops.
Yeah.
Maybe
travel
travel around
taste.
to taste.
Is that hold on? Is that a Japanese verb to gypsy? Gypsy
Yeah, gypsy is of course not Japanese, but everyone knows a gypsy. Gypsy doing maybe going to some around
Kind of like
traveling there.
it's kind of like hashigo, but for ramen.
Yeah.
Is a gypsy? That's for specifically for ramen?
Yeah, not for ramen, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it could be like hashigo.
はしご
whatever.
するとか、maybe go around とか traveling around.
I've never heard
yeah.
that word before. Oh,
Gypsy.
interesting.
Gypsy.
Interesting.
I think we got off the topic of tea.
That's if we're talking about ramen, I'm totally happy about that. That's a date. We need to go get some ramen sometime soon.
All conversation ends in ramen.
All conversation ends in ramen. But
I'm interested in the ramen conversation much more than tea. But okay. My hometown special product is the green tea. Of course, let's keep it. Yeah.
no, we can talk about ramen. It's okay. We can.
No.
Have you ever had green tea based soup ramen?
green tea ramen?
I think I've just invented something.
I think you might have.
Someone who invented I think in the future.
いや、緑茶ラーメンって、緑茶とラーメンの味めっちゃ喧嘩す
I
るらしい
think
ね。
as a powder, as a seasoning, maybe put
A little
pour
bit.
a little bit the green tea powder
Well,
into the.
actually, funny you should mention that because I was in a restaurant in Osaka, and as a seasoning, you could either put salt, pepper, or green tea powder on your tempura, and that was amazing.
With salt.
With the salt, but it's the salt, pepper, and then green tea powder. It's kind of like salty green tea, and you put it on the tempura. It's
I've had that. It's really nice.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's so good.
It's really
It's
nice,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah. But salt, okay. Pepper, okay. Green salt sounds good. The king of all powdered condiments Sansho.
Sansho. What is
shibire.
I
sansho?
love sansho.
What is that again?
Sansho is one of the seasonings, one of the spice.
Often translated as Japanese pepper.
Yeah, but actually, so it's used in China, I think. It's come from China.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Hinabe, in Chinese recipe,
Right.
the boiled up, maybe it's very spice and sansho soup boiled up
So
with the
it's-
vegetables.
It's these little kind of the small green seeds. They grind them into a powder,
Oh.
and you often eat with like unagi, like eel.
Oh yeah, that's
You
right.
often-
That's
eel.
right.
You can
Yeah.
put any meat like with chicken,
Yeah.
and it's a little spicy, and it gives a bit of a tingle.
Tingle, yeah. We
Bitty,
said the
bitty, bitty
shibire,
on-
shibire,
Shibiri shibiri.
shibire.
Piri piri
Piri
suru.
Okay,
Piri piri suru.
And maybe feel a little maybe sour taste with the water.
Yeah, it's
after
really nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, if you like spicy.
So sansho.
Sansho, I like it. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a peppery, spicy taste.
Yeah, I wonder, what,
sure I've had
wonder
it.
what the Chinese for that is.
yeah.
In restaurants, often on the table you get a little wooden container. It's got a little wooden nail you kind of pull out, and then you can tap it onto your food.
Yeah.
And you stick the little wooden nail back in.
Yeah. Very small, wooden, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's great. No, and you can put it over your ramen. Sansho.
Yeah, it's these days the ramen, the sansho ramen is very favorite. Yeah, so I like the shibire ramen, just in case, just in
Right.
case. Depends on the soup, depends on the ramen quality.
So you say shibiri because it like slightly numbs your
Numbs, yeah.
your
Yeah, so
tongue.
shibireru means to numb.
Numb.
So if you sit in seiza, which is the traditional Japanese sitting position with your legs tucked under your knees,
Yeah.
and the top of your foot flat on the floor. After about depending
And your
on,
heels,
depending on your stamina, after about 5 or 10 minutes, your legs become extremely numb and painful. And in Japanese, they call that numb as the verb is shibireru. Yeah.
Shibireru.
足がしびれる in the funeral situation. Yeah, in the funeral, so we have to do the posture.
You have to sit. You have to
Yeah,
sit
sit and-
in
seiza.
Seiza, do
Oh,
the
really?
seiza all the time for a long time, for 1 hour.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do martial arts, and they used to make us sit in seiza for like 20
That's why-
minutes, and your legs go complete numb.
Yeah.
And when you stand up, you fall over.
Yeah, that's why Japanese people has so short legs.
Weren't you saying the other day that now younger Japanese people, because
Yeah.
they're eating more of a
It's
Western
going
diet,
up,
they're like taller,
yeah.
and they're having more difficulty sitting in seiza.
Yeah, that's right. And there maybe the legs is longer than before.
Yeah.
Our age, our generation.
So the first time I came to Japan, I was in Tokyo as a student, and one of my dormitory roommates invited me to a tea ceremony. He said, "Hey, this is your first time in Japan. You have to go to a tea ceremony." I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to go. That'll be awesome." So we went to the tea ceremony, and it was such an amazing experience. It was so incredible to see how they served the tea. The woman was wearing a kimono. It was the most amazing experience. I couldn't feel my legs after 5 minutes. It was so painful. But it was a great experience. I absolutely loved it. I'd love to do it again, but I'd like to do it in Agura. Agura. Do you know
Cross. Agura or kaku, cross your legs.
Agura or kaku, to cross your legs? So yeah, it's
much
pretty good.
It's much more comfortable. It's much more comfortable to agura or kaku than to seiza suru.
Seiza, yeah. So seiza is, oh man, that's so painful. I think especially for us Westerners with our.
Is a season common? Is it common Caesar in the UK or like
Certainly
American
not.
country?
Certainly not. We'd like to sit on wooden chairs. No, not really.
Not really.
Not traditionally.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
obviously, people who study Japanese martial arts know seiza, right? So if you're studying aikido or maybe even karate or whatever, you might sit in seiza. But generally, as a cultural thing, not really. I don't think.
No.
I suppose there's sitting cross-legged, but not seiza. Definitely a very Japanese thing.
They're sitting on your sofa, drinking your beer, watching the footy.
we did a bit too much of that when we were young. But what can you do? Now, Achan, you're
Hi.
from Shizuoka.
Yes.
Ben, you're a core blimey governor from the UK, but you are currently living in
Kyoto.
And so let's talk a little bit about Kyoto. Let's talk about Kyoto. So, Achan, what was the last time you went to Kyoto?
I think last year.
Oh, yeah?
Oh no! Yeah,
No.
last year.
Last year,
December.
Oh, in December, right?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Oh, it's a secret.
It's a secret.
It's a city full of secrets.
But actually, 80% was the business.
Right. You just went for a business trip. Right. What would you like to do in the future in Kyoto if you could go for a trip? What would you like to do?
So hopefully, I want to go to the photo studio to take the beautiful my figure. So pretend the traditional the style of geisha, Maiko, samurai like this.
Very good. Yeah. So there are these photo studios in Kyoto that will allow you to dress up in traditional kimonos. You can actually dress up in the traditional hakama if you're a guy. So that's kind of traditional clothes for males. And also they've got like samurai as well. It's really cool actually. So you can do, like a morning of photos and you can get these like really cool photos. So naruhodo. So
What do you say kizoku in English?
like
Aristocrat.
Yeah, aristocrats like in Japan.
Right.
They performance.
Yeah.
They performance for them.
Yeah,
they're
And to have
the
a fun.
traditional
And
entertainers, and
Yeah, in the
they,
drinking. Yeah.
They have very long and arduous and deep education in playing instruments,
Yeah.
The arts,
dance.
yeah.
They need
Kind of
very
poetry.
serious training for that situation. But actually, it's not prostitute actually. Not
Yeah,
prostitute.
right,
They
right.
maybe have pride of herself, of
Right,
course.
sure.
Yeah. For performing and singing a song like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion, even in Japan, about what the role, what the role. But in Kyoto, they're like, well, Maiko is the trainee geisha,
Right.
and once you graduate, you
Yeah,
become
yeah.
full geisha.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
But I think
Right.
the kind of traditional prostitutes looked very similar. But I think the difference was their knot was tied at the front.
yeah, right. So
And the-
Obiga Mai
Obiga Mai,
dip.
yeah.
So the way you, back in the day, the way you could distinguish between a geisha and a prostitute, the prostitute had the knot tied at the front, and the geisha had the knot tied at the back.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I've asked a lot of people in Kyoto, and they're like, no, it's nothing to do with the sex trade, and it's kind of they're seen as kind of highly trained artists in a wide variety of arts, kind of highly trained entertainers. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And there's a bit of controversy because before the pandemic, when there were loads of tourists, there were all these stories of locals getting kind of pissed off because tourists would be chasing Maiko down the road, trying to take pictures with them and harassing them.
Kind of taking pictures in their face and kind of crowding them.
Right.
And kind of getting in the way of the business of, Maiko and geisha.
And just crowding the streets and being a general nuisance. But since the pandemic happened, it's been a ghost town now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a tourist ghost town for 2 years. I mean, recently Japanese tourism has picked up.
Right.
But yeah, without the foreigners, it's a very, very different place.
Right.
Relatively empty and quiet.
Right.
And sadly, a lot of businesses have gone down because of that. Lots of boarded up shops, lots of closed restaurants.
Now, actually, Ben was and is a tour guide. You were doing tours in Kyoto.
I was doing tours up until the
pandemic.
The evil pandemic,
The evil pandemic, the zombie apocalypse, and then it kind of fell away. But what kind of tours were you doing?
Doing bicycle tours and walking tours.
So when people can eventually come back to Japan, which should be pretty soon, I would have thought.
Please let my people back in.
Let my people back in. Hey, can I get a hamburger? These are my people. What kind of tours, what kind of places would you take them?
Well, yeah, there's a vast amount to see in Kyoto.
Sure.
And the temples and shrines are all pretty good, and historical places such as Kyoto Gosho, which is the old site of the old imperial palace, Nijo Castle. There's a huge amount to see. I mean, you probably couldn't see everything in 2 weeks, but there's a few top places, and I'd say even the places which are very crowded with tourists are probably worth seeing as well.
So like Kiyomizu-dera, right?
Yeah, Kiyomizu Temple, which means pure water temple.
Pure water temple. That is amazing. That is incredible. You've been to Kiyomizu-dera, right?
I have been many times.
It's probably the most famous and most visited.
Yeah.
In all of there's 5 or 6 temples which are probably the top 5. But Kiyomizu is maybe the most famous and most visited. Maybe.
Oh, actually, I've got a question. Which is the best time to not visit Kyoto?
I would avoid. Well,
I know the best time to avoid Kyoto in terms of being there too many tourists there.
Well, that's a difficult question because peak tourist time is at the nicest time of year to visit. I would almost argue it's worth braving
the crowds.
Yeah, right. Because you don't want to come in August.
Right.
I had very few tours in August, and the customers who came were surprised at how incredibly hot and humid, and asked questions such as, "Is it normally this insufferably hot and humid?" And my answer was yes, every year, and which is why there are few. So yeah, I mean, I would really avoid August.
I'm drowning in a puddle of my own sweat here.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the humidity is incredibly high.
Yeah,
and it's pretty unpleasant.
Yeah. So the thing about Kyoto is it's incredibly hot and humid in August, and it's really cold in the winter.
Right? Yeah. It's well, they say Kyoto is surrounded by hills pretty much on 3 sides.
Right.
As I say in Japanese, it's a bonchi, it's a bowl.
Bonchi,
which means in winter it's colder than similar areas in the same area, and in summer it's hotter than similar areas in the same area. So it's seen as a little bit extreme in terms of weather.
Right.
So yeah,
the summer is maybe not a good time to visit then.
No, I mean the nicest times to visit is spring spring and autumn.
Right.
But that is peak. You're going to have to fight through throngs of people to see stuff, yeah.
Now, I've got another time that maybe is not a good time to visit Kyoto is when the schools do school trips.
Yeah, I think now
when is that? Insoku?
Current maybe
is it now?
early spring, early summer is the best season for the school trip.
Right.
I think May. So when I was junior high, so I went to Kyoto for not third time, but it was May. It was May. No cherry blossom season, no the autumn season. Autumn is very beautiful in Kyoto, and also August is horrible. So I think the rest of season is I think early, maybe spring, early summertime, I think.
Yeah, so if you'll see the cherry blossoms, late March, early April is nice.
It's crowded, yeah.
It's a little chilly. It can still be a little chilly.
Sakura season is still a little cold in central Japan and also Tokyo.
Hanabiye.
Hanabiye. What's that?
Yeah. Hanabiye means it's maybe cherry blossom season is maybe sometimes cold and warm, and we repeat again and again the same season, same climate, and maybe might be have easily the cold or maybe some sick.
I think it's kind of like, although it's cherry blossom, you're still going to freeze your bottom off.
Right. Hanabiye. So biye is here. So it's the cold Hanami season.
Yeah, Hanami season. Maybe go outside in Hanami, doing Hanami in the cold situation. It's maybe might be a sick, right?
Naruhodo ne.
But yeah, the cherry blossoms are stunningly beautiful, and that's late March, early April, and in the autumn you have Koyo. which means the autumn leaves.
The autumn leaves.
If you're American, you'd call that fall, the fall leaves.
Right.
Which is kind of October, November.
Yeah.
And that's stunning. That's stunningly beautiful.
It's
as well.
absolutely. And where is it? Irohazuka. Irohazuka. どこだったっけ?
Where is that?
The famous hill with the amazing fall leaves.
In Kyoto?
Irohazuka. You don't know that?
We don't know what it's talking about.
Me too.
ごめんなさい.
I don't know about Kyoto very well.
Hang on, wait.
He's having a fever dream.
I'm having a fever dream. No, hang on, wait. Irohazuka. Hang on, wait.
I expect it will be colourful. It all has.
No, it's yeah, right.
Irohazaka, right?
Oh, sorry.
In Tochigi.
Tochigi, yeah. Irohazaka. Irohazaka is a pair of famous winding roads located in the mountains of Tochigi Prefecture, Japan. It's the main access to connect the lower elevations around central Nikko. So it's in Nikko, and the views of the autumn leaves are absolutely amazing. And Ben doesn't care.
Nikko Tamagawa.
Oh, it's here.
No, Nikko. 違います. Anyway, going back to Kyoto. You've been to Kiyomizu-dera, and there's a famous phrase about Kiyomizu-dera.
清水の舞台から飛び降りる.
We should explain that Kiyomizu it's a very beautiful temple, and it's built on a kind of I don't know, for want of a better word, wooden scaffolding, although it's kind of permanent.
Right.
And so it's the platform. You kind of enter the main gate, and you see there's a beautiful temple, and you see lots of Buddha statues. But yeah, there's a platform, and if you look over the platform, there's a big drop. Like 3 or 4 stories, maybe.
It's really high.
Fourth floor. Yeah.
And back in the day, somebody decided a lucky thing to do would be to test your courage by leaping off the platform and seeing if you could survive the fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's that Japanese phrase.
So wait. Kiyomizu-dera no butai.
清水の舞台
Kiyomizu no butai
から飛び降りる.
Tobi oriru. So to jump off the platform at Kiyomizu Temple, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
So yeah, someone decided it would be an auspicious, lucky thing to test your courage by leap. I'm not sure. They're testing their luck.
Luck,
if you survive, you're lucky.
Maybe 10 to 20%, I think, died.
Yes, right. Leaping off a 4-story building
is kind of a lucky thing, yeah.
Well, depends on how you land, but yeah, it resulted in a lot of death, I think, and broken bones. So, why? I still don't quite get why were they leaping off?
I don't know original meaning, but it turned to be a proverb now. It's not real.
What does the proverb mean?
Okay. 清水の舞台から飛び降りる means that if we do something new, we are maybe scared of doing, but that we have to do that. Right. Okay, we said like 清水の舞台から飛び降りる覚悟で bravery I do something new.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going to embark on a new venture. You're going to try something new. Go for it.
Yeah.
Be brave.
Yeah.
Right.
And hopefully you have more chances of success than leaping off a 4-story platform, which is bound to result in a lot of broken bones in most cases.
Yes. In other words, 皆さん頑張ってください. So, Ben, if some of the listeners came to Japan and used your services, where would you take them?
It depends on how long you're staying in Kyoto, but I think it's worth seeing even the most popular places such as Kiyomizu-dera, Ginkakuji,
the Golden Pavilion,
Heian-jingu, Kenninji. I mean, there's a lot to see.
Yeah, I would. My own personal advice is don't go crazy. You can see too much. Like, I need to see absolutely every single temple, but I'd kind of take it at a slower pace and maybe take it. I love, is it Ryoanji?
Ryoanji is very beautiful. Ryoanji is famous for its kare sansui.
Kare-sansui.
Dry rock garden.
Yeah, rock garden.
Rock garden, yeah.
It's one of the best examples of a kind of Zen
rock garden.
Zen rock garden. That's beautiful. Yeah, we have a phrase like you can get templed out.
Yes.
If you just see one temple after another, it can be a bit disorientating.
Kyoryori. Mm-hmm. Do you like it?
Yes, of course.
Of course. So kyoryori is like traditional food from Kyoto.
Yeah.
And it's usually a kind of a set meal with many different small dishes.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fantastic. It's light, it's delicious, it's flavorful.
And healthier.
And healthier. I love kyoryori. And also, I remember I was in, I think it was in Gion, and we had dengaku.
What's dengaku?
Dengaku is... Konnyaku.
Oh, devil's tongue.
Is that what it's called in England?
Yeah.
So
I looked up the translation. It's devil's tongue, but it's not something that anyone's ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's a kind of fibrous jelly.
Yeah, and it's
very good for you. It's full of fiber, but it's kind of tasteless.
Fiber, a lot of fiber inside.
It's made from like this kind of vegetable turned into a dry powder.
Konnyaku imo, yeah.
And it's like a potato, right?
Yeah, like potato. Yeah.
And it's this kind of like jelly. And they put this kind of sweet sauce on it. It's called dengaku. It's so good. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, 0 calories.
Oh yeah. Because there's the konnyaku diet, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So last topic. Favorite places in Kyoto. Mine would be Kiyomizu-dera, Ryoanji, and just eating traditional Kyoto food anywhere. Favorite places in Kyoto?
Arashiyama.
Yes. Right. Why do you like Arashiyama?
We can see the nice scenery, big river, and very comfortable, and see a nice, beautiful bamboo, how can I say that? Bamboo forest, yeah.
Right.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, but there's many mosquitoes. Be careful in October. August.
In August, yeah. Although the bamboo forest itself is quite cool in August, but yeah, lots of mosquitoes.
Shade, yeah.
Favorite places in Kyoto, Ben?
So many.
That's a tough question to ask a tour guide.
One nice but not so well-known place. It's near Arashiyama. It's called Sagamoto Tori. It's a little preserved area of old houses, not far from Arashiyama. And just over the hill, there's a magnificent valley called the Hozugawa, which is a pretty spectacular kind of gorge. Which is just near there as well, which most people never see or imagine. There's this huge gorge just behind, just over the hill, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I will definitely check that out next time I'm in Kyoto. So I will come and visit you soon, sir.
Excellent.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Okay, well, thank you, Ah-chan.
Hi.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was cool. We should do this again sometime. And I'm so happy it's Golden Week now.
Yeah.
We can take a week off.
Yes.
Do nothing.
Yes.
And just chill. And thank you, dear listener, for listening to the podcast. That's it for today. We will be back soon with Ami Sensei with a new lesson. Don't forget, you can check out our website at learnjapanesepod.com. You can also join our Discord server where you can meet lots of friendly, helpful fellow Japanese students. And to join the Discord channel, simply go to learnjapanesepod.com and click on the Discord link. That's it. You can find us on Twitter at Japanese Podcast. And you can also find us on Instagram. Just look for Learn Japanese Pod. And that's all the social media, blah, 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 blah. See you soon. Thanks for listening. And have a great week. See you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.